Welcome to Apex Esports League. I'm JT. Tonight we're on iRacing for the Pagnian Imports GT3 Championship. Unfortunately, this isn't actually being streamed live due to some technical issues. So this is actually being recorded live and it will be uploaded to you later. So it will be a delayed broadcast for you that are watching. But at least we can still get it all going and up there for you to be able to catch up and see how tonight's round goes. And for tonight, round 4 is up and we are at Silverstone Circuit, and it is the legacy version in the 2008 GP. So we'll check out the session where we have for tonight is 10 minutes of practice. Weather conditions will be mostly cloudy. Then we've got 10 minutes of qualifying. The race is 40 minutes. The cars are capped at 47% fuel. We'll need to see the drivers stop to grab some fuel to be able to get home. And then it is a standing start with restarts being single file with lap cars to the back. And the standings after the third round, we have Cameron Veacock leading the championship with 363 points, only just scraping ahead by 2 points of Blake Urquhart, and then even Robbie Bradbury still within reach of that championship lead. Last week we're at Watkins Glen International. We saw Cameron Veacock qualify third, take the victory, and then he took the fastest lap bonus points as well. We'll lay up the track map if it's going to load that for us. A little bit of a delay because we are actually using a hotspot for it, so it may not actually work. We'll see how things go. And then we'll jump over onto the track now, and I will need some audio which may be helpful. Running just a tad little slow in being able to do some of these changes just because of the live data coming through. It looks like I'm not going to get the car information to be able to come up in the same hot spotting. It's just not detecting any of our network issues. We can at least get our usual overlays up. So we currently got 14 drivers loading in. See if we can try and get it some closer camera angles. Go to Michael Quain in the BMW. It says 2 minutes remaining of the practice. We got another driver we haven't seen for a while, Bruce Robinson, making his way back onto the track. He's gone for quite a broad slide. Looks like Bruce Robinson running the Porsche. Current fastest driver in practice was Lucas Burt. It's just been beat by 2 seconds by Blake Urquhart. We'll make our way down through the list. We have Sam Tucker. Russell Gandy in the Mercedes. Fair bit of traffic running down this straight. That's the section that we saw Bruce Robinson go for a slide. Oh, Gary's gets a little bit loose. He saves the car and narrowly avoids the car ahead. Damien Cross in the Ferrari. Stephen Banks currently in pit lane. He runs the Ford GT, and that's Corey Brand also parked up in the pits. Nathan Peters in the Mercedes. Drivers using that. Oh, that was Damien Cross that just went for a spin. I think actually might have been Bruce Robinson. It looked more like a Porsche. Similar car colours. Daniel Games also running a Porsche. Philip Buckling and McLaren, and there's practice complete. They've actually been Sam Tucker's Porsche, you may have seen going off that spill. It's rather zoomed out car shots at this version of the track. We don't get too many static cameras as well. Crossing over to Philip Buckland in the McLaren before we got dropped out into the next session. And Robbie Bradbury in the Ferrari. And he was leading the championship come end of round 2 after a good result. Ran into a little bit of bad luck last week at Watkins Glen. Stephen Banks in the Ford GT now out on track. So the drivers do only have 10 minutes to qualify. Corey Brand now out on the track. Try and find a driver to jump on board for a hot lap. We won't be crossing over for the talk through a hot lap, so we'll just be trying to limit my bandwidth as much as possible. So I don't want to get any interruptions to the iRacing server. Zone is close to starting a lap. If we don't throw the old commentator's curse to him. Does look like he's too far off from completing a lap. Looks like coming up to the pit entrance area soon. There we go, we actually do get a static shot there. Coming on to the start of the lap now. Nice and tight through the last corner. It's down on the pit straight. A very fast right-hander. And they cross the line on that pit exit. Take as much curb as possible on that right hand side. Cautious of that left hand curb. Can throw the car. Very long. Hear those tyres screeching all the way out to that exit curb to bring the car back in. This corner gets a lot of drivers off. Perfect opportunity to get a pass for those drivers that brake much earlier. To the back straight, carrying a lot of speed, ready for this left-hand corner. Shifts down, so a little bit loose. That car nice and wide just before those bollards are turning. Oh, it was a car that was spun around. And careful of the sausage curves by taking that corner too sharp. It'll definitely throw that car across the track. Lots of feathering around that final hairpin. And flat stick close to those bollards as you can so you can power out much earlier. And there is a lap around Silverstone. Courtesy of Damien Cross. And that lap was a 1:47.439. That's qualified Damien into 5th position. Our pole holder is currently Blake Urquhart. He's done a 1:45.882. So he's about half a second ahead of position 2. Sam Tucker. And Stephen Banks in 3rd. So is that, looks like KC cars 1, 2, 3 in tow there. Robbie Bradbury currently qualified in 3rd. Again's tucking in behind that Mercedes. Out wide. I'll let him through. He's got a little bit of pace going for that more outside line around that hairpin. And he's practicing a pit entry as well. So there's 2 minutes left to qualifying. And Daniel Games running that lap. It was a 1:47.944. Or his qualifying time is a 1:46.859. 2 minutes left. Blake Urquhart still holding that pole position. So he's managed to get 3 laps in. He's just got in the 1:45. So again, pulling off, obviously going to bring that car back into the pits. Visual effects on this McLaren is fantastic with those fire spits as well. So on board the blimp, you can just see just how long and sweeping these corners are. It's a fantastic track, very quick, with some very nice technical sections. It's got 35 seconds left for qualifying. Not much movement up the top of the standings. With Blake Urquhart having a good half a second gap, it's going to take a bit to try and steal that pole. So drivers will now be finishing up their final laps. Oh, he runs off rather wide. That's going to cost him that lap. Fair few drivers all flying through. We'll jump over and check out the qualifying results in a second. So most drivers now having completed their laps. It's rather different not being able to be seeing those chat messages come through on Twitch. A little bit lonesome here talking to myself. Anyway, we'll bring up those results now. And then we have qualifying done for round 4. We have Blake Urquhart taking pole position, Sam Tucker in second, and Stephen Banks in third. And the rest of the grid will then be Robbie Bradbury, Bruce Robinson, Daniel Gomes, Michael Quain, Damien Cross, Russell Gander, Nathan Peters. Then we have Gary Buckland, Lucas Burt, and Corey Brand. And then at the back of the grid is Philip Buckland. So we'll jump back over onto the track, so I'll just hit the wrong one there. So it's got a couple of drivers parked up in the pits that we're waiting for them to ready up. Once they've hit that button, it'll cross over to the grid. Otherwise the session will load it over in a moment. There we are, the session. Still taking a little while. Stephen Banks, the only driver out there waiting in pits. Everyone else has done it, so there we are. It's now moving on the session. Find that Abbey sign right there, blocking off just about the first two rows. I think that number 3 is probably about the best spot there I can get. Just waiting on one driver to hit that grid button. There we go, they're all ready. Lights out to go green. Ready to start off round 4. And we're away, green light. Bit of a spool up at the back there. Oh, there's already been a blink there. That was looking a little bit interesting. That's position 4. It was Bruce Robinson showing a little bit of lag. Blake Urquhart streaming ahead already. He's already put 0.8, 0.9, no, 1. That is just increasing. He's got up to 1.5 seconds. A Ferrari just absolutely pulled ahead. Oh, a little bit of a battle here going on between Stephen Banks and Bruce Robinson. He's sandwiched in between Banks and Gomes. Oh, he's just got ahead of him. He's on the outside. Can he hold it? Banks is going to make sure not to drift out. Oh, he's just been tapped. Huge hit, some bad luck there for Banks. Not sure whether it was Bruce Robinson's car he got up alongside of, and then they tapped. Banks trying to find a way to get back on the track nice and easily. He's going to try and avoid that toe because it's going to throw his race. It will mean he's going to have to pit again if he's going to have to go in and deal with the damage. Well, Nathan Peters having to tow the car. Not sure what went on there. We'll quickly cut over and see what happened. He's made a tap, looks like, with Corey Brand. And they've turned them round. He's rolled off the line. That could have gone much worse. And that car doesn't seem to be wanting to steer too straight. Yeah, that's just crab walking. Looks like it's drifting at low pace. It's an unfortunate incident. It was almost a full pile up. They managed to get through reasonably okay. Could have potentially been a needed safety car. Blake Urquhart is our leader. The gap that he put on just in that first sector on lap 1, he pushed out to 1.5 seconds, but it's now down to under a second. Sam Tucker is now closing in. Daniel Gomes sitting hot tight on the tail of Robinson. Looks like Damien Cross in for a bit of trouble from Michael Quain. Showing some big pace. Oh, and he's just tapped him. Gone for a spin. He's got about 4 seconds to the next car. He's going to have to try and recover that very quick. He's gone off track onto the separate section. He's pushed that cone out onto the track. So it's cost him 2 positions. That could have gone very badly indeed. Banks been into the pits and he's dealt with that damage, so he's used his fast repair. Nathan Peters finished towing, now back out on track, so he's a lap down at the moment after that tow. So lap 2, our race lead is Blake Urquhart. Oh, big spin. Nearly lost that car. There was a lot of slip from that Ferrari. And with our championship leader, Cameron Veacock, not making it to the race, this is going to be a big opportunity for Blake to try and put some gap. Ready to head into the final round. Sam Tucker is slowly reeling him in. Oh, Bruce Robinson loses. He's out in the kitty litter. Could have potentially had him into a spin out in front of the two oncoming cars with Gomes and Bradbury. He's managed to save it. He's only lost a little bit of pace. But it's not enough that Gomes has been able to close in too fast. There's battle going on between Corey Brand and Michael Quain. Not sure if Brand just actually gave the position up there, or if Quain just got a fantastic run. But BMW just absolutely flew past. Things are bunching up between Robinson, Tucker and Gomes. Burkhart's now flying back ahead. He's got 2.4 seconds ahead of position 2. Watch this battle going on for position 2. Oh, it's getting close. Robinson, Tucker have already done one exchange. They're going to go for another. Side by side, Robinson goes out wide. I think that's Gomes that's just peeled off into the pits. Not sure if he's dealing with some damage. Oh, and then Robinson's gone for a slip. He recovers the car. Oh, is he going to retire out? He's brought the car back into the pit, so he's towed the car. And he managed to save that car in that slip. Robinson now dropped back. He's waiting out the toe, not sure what's going on there. That off track has then allowed Robbie Bradbury to move up into position 3. He's still a close contender for championship lead. He's in position 3. Let's see if he can have a strong result tonight, get on the podium. So he's in the same situation as Blake Urquhart. They can really try and stream ahead from Cameron Veacock, take that championship lead, or at least be far enough ahead so they come into the final round next week ready to be able to finish off the championship on the final. So it will come down to a decider next week. It does look like all drivers have made sure that they've picked that same car selection. So even though you can opt to be able to choose any car while they load into the session, any car change between each round will actually void those points in the new car. Sam Tucker seems to be pulling ahead from Robbie Bradbury. His previous lap was a few tenths slower than Bradbury, but he seems to be getting him over the course of this lap. And Gomes did peel off and pit About 32-minute remaining mark. So he should be pretty right for fuel. So it's seen him drop back from one of the top few down into position 9. The game's about to start moving ahead because he's only 47.9. Oh, sorry, no, actually, full gap is 70. Oh, no, actually, yeah, 47 seconds. Games is currently behind the race lead. He was the first of those front runners to pit in. So by the time those ahead of him head into the pits, providing he didn't bring it in just too short, that he's going to have to start fuel conserving. He could potentially see himself get back up towards that front end. Burkhardt is really getting a big lead now. He's only pushed out to 5 seconds ahead of Tucker in position 2. Bradbury started to close that in over that sector. Some definite strengths and weaknesses showing here. Damien Cross currently in 4th. Sitting 7 seconds away from position 3. He's nearly got a 12-second gap between himself and position 5. So he's in a nice little comfortable position. But holding 6th. He's got Philip Buckland starting to close in a little. Bruce Robinson still parked up in the pit zone. He's just left the session, so he was there for a while. So he must have actually had to duck off and do something for him just to keep the car there. It wasn't an immediate exit from the session, so he's only just retired. Looks like the fastest lap of the race at the moment is Sam Tucker. But he's just had a little bit of a knife. It looks like he's had a pass done on him. Probably Bradbury's gotten around him. Looks like he's trying to chase him down. Let him try and go back and just see what happened when he lost that position to Bradbury. Hopefully it's not too far back. Bradbury comes through with a lot of pace in that corner. Slingshots out on the straight. Just chucks in. Brilliant pass. Burkhart leading by 5.6 seconds. It did drop down briefly to about 4 seconds. Burkhart must have had a little bit of an incident, having to drop off some pace. There's 23 minutes left on the clock. Don't forget, as you're watching the video, if you're checking us out on Twitch, do hit that follow button for us. We appreciate seeing that follow count slowly creeping up towards that 250 mark. And if you're watching it from YouTube, oh, we've just had Corey Brand go for a spin. Oh, that's a solid wall hit. That was a huge stack. We'll jump on board. He's carrying a fair bit of pace as he came into that corner. Gomes gets the better of him, loses it in the dirt. That other curve just sends it off. That's a huge hit to that front. I think the car is reasonably drivable. No, that's got a little bit of understeer. Given it's pretty much approaching the halfway point, he's probably gonna need to get the car into the pits. Yeah, he takes it in now. Brand getting that car dealt with now. He'll be taking on that fuel that's needed to get the car home and then utilise that fast repair. Oh, Bradbury gets nice and wide. Tucker followed suit but got a little loose. And look like he may have just clipped those bollards. He was taking that corner very tight. Ross again in 5th position. He's got Lucas Burt hunting him down. Again, his last lap at 4 tenths. Slower than Burt's. Can Burt close that gap in? Okay, Gomes absolutely flying, closing in on Bradbury. He's going to be feeling some pressure from Gomes here. Sorry, not Gomes, that's Sam Tucker. That's the other Porsche. We saw the Porsche and the orange markings. What is it? Sam Tucker's running the Harley Davidson logo on the side of it. Tucker off to bring the car into the pits. See those discs glow red hot as he tries to pull the car up. Bring it down in re for the stop. Blake Urquhart still holding the lead, so we're currently on lap 12. Urquhart's led for the full 12 laps. He's got lap traffic to come up to here. I think it may be Michael Quain's. No, it's not Michael Quain's car. It's Lucas Burt's Ferrari potentially. Gary Buckland. Yeah, it's Gary Buckland. This is starting to catch up to position 11. As he's approaching, Buckland and Brand starting to close in. So the blue flag will be showing. And Buckland doesn't want to be losing off too much pace at the same time, so he's going to have to try and time the blue flag maneuver just right. Just passed by Sam Tucker, so he's back out on the track after his pit stop. Gander goes it rather wide, but then he decides to bring the car in quickly. Bradbury just been in and completed his stop. So he's in second position. And he comes out marginally ahead of Sam Tucker, so they've both now been in and pit. So they should be carrying sufficient fuel to finish the race now. So their battle can now continue. So there's only 15 minutes remaining, so we're well past the halfway point now. All drivers having pit, except for our race leader. Philip Buckland not yet pitting. Urquhart also needing to pit. That's him just getting past Corey Brand and Gary Buckland. Buckland managing to keep pace. That gap to Gomes, but he does need to pit. Cross having already taken on that last load of fuel to get him through. He'll now move up into position 5. At 14. Urquhart's still leading the way. And he's only a couple of points away from the championship leader, who is absent tonight, missing out on some points. A win here for Urquhart is going to put him at a nice position. Means he just needs to be able to have a strong result in the final round. And he should be able to stay as close to the top and possibly secure a championship win. Is Bradbury going to end up being able to pass him in the pits? Urquhart had a 3.3 second stop. No, it's actually dragged at 11.2 in the end. Due to the delay, so Robbie Bradbury takes the race lead. So Urquhart was starting to drop pace a little bit. So I wonder if he's managed to scrub those tyres out, or if he's just trying to conserve those couple of laps and then come back out. So he's got just over 11.5 minutes to be able to really in position 2 and the now race lead by Bradbury. Just going to want to see Tucker really close in on Bradbury now. A pass against Bradbury, sorry, I'm getting the names all mixed up tonight. That'll give him the race lead. Now all drivers have been in, and people will take a look at the current standings. So we had Bruce Robinson, is currently in 14th. He did retire out after parking the car up and towing and then remaining stationary in pits for some time. With Nathan Peters in 13th. Michael Quain in 12th. Corey Brand. Gary Buckland. Battling it out, so we have had Buckland get around Brand in the end. And Corey Brand sitting in 11th. Gary Buckland in 10th. Lucas Burt in 9th. Stephen Banks now making his pit stop to get that fuel. We saw him pit very early just to deal with that fast repair, so taking on any fuel at that point was still not sufficient to be able to get through, so they can only get about 30 minutes approximately out of the car. So Just not enough to get them through when they have to pit in that first few laps. He didn't lose a position from that second stop. So he maintains 9th. Then we have Lucas Burt in 8th. Philip Buckland in 7th position. Russell Gander in 6th. Daniel Games in 5th. Damien Cross in 4th. Blake Urquhart, after having led for the first 15 laps, in 3rd position currently. And the two ahead have also been in pit. I think they took on enough fuel to finish up. Urquhart could definitely be losing out and staying back towards in position 3. Over to Sam Tucker holding P2. He's 1.5 seconds away from race lead. They're just going around Michael Quain at the moment. Quain's currently holding 11th. And he moves over and drops off to let him through. And now race leader is Robbie Bradbury. So on lap 18, Bradbury's led for the last 3 laps. Drivers spacing out a little bit with these last few laps coming up. Closest contenders to be able to get another position is Sam Tucker. He's 1.4 away from Bradbury. On board with our race leader, Robbie Bradbury. He's been carving up some very tight laps. fastest lap of the session is actually Blake Urquhart. He's done at 1:45.953 and that was on lap 17. $1:45.953 and then he improved that from the previous fastest lap, which was lap 9 at 1:46.259. Seeing the Urquhart's drop back down into third position. He crosses straight for those bollards. They don't seem to move though. Not sure if that counts as an off track though. With Urquhart having dropped away from the race lead and is chasing that championship lead, only being 2 points away from Veacock. The extra 10 bonus points could be more than enough. Oh, he's made a mistake and he's just put it into a spin. He's going to have to try and recover. He's got 17 seconds. He's not going to have to want to deal with any damage. I don't think he's hurt the car. Check out that suspension. Car appears to be okay. Sam Tucker now starting to drop back a little bit. Bradbury's got a 1.5 second lead. His previous lap at least 2 tenths faster than Tucker. Not sure if he's trying to conserve some fuel or whether those tyres may be getting a little bit slippery. Bradbury in the Ferrari, holding off pretty well. Doesn't seem to be dropping back any pace at the moment. Despite Urquhart's spin and wall contact, he's still got a nice safety net. He's about 10-second gap between himself and Damien Cross. There's only 45 seconds remaining. We're on lap 21. Bradbury's led for the last 6. This will be a last lap. So I don't think he's anywhere near the control line. "15 seconds to go. And we're on approach. Now we may get another lap out of this, so you can't back off to try and play with the clock. There we go, we get one more lap, so the white flag being waved as he crossed the control line. Means Sam Tucker, if he wants to take the win, he's got to get Bradbury this lap. Bradbury can't afford any mistakes now. Then he can't afford to hold back as well. There's some lap cars coming up here. He's not going to want to get caught up behind. This could end up balking him. I think it's Corey Brand. Slows right down to let these race leaders through. Coming in through the final sector, not too long to go now. Bradbury should be able to take the win. Last corner. And checkered flag goes to Bradbury. Sam Tucker only 1.2 seconds away, taking second place. Not sure what was going on with Urquhart. There was a lot of spiking. Not sure if that was spluttering at all, or if he was just a little frustrated with himself, or if he may be running out of fuel, but he's going to have fun crashing the car right at the end. Damien Cross goes through in 4th position. Daniel Gomes in 5th. And Russell Gander in 6th position. He's about 10 seconds. Safety net a little bit sketchy on that final turn. Good result, taking 6th. Philip Buckling coming up in 7th position. Lucas Burt gonna finish the race in pit lane, or has he already been out for last lap? I think they are all done and dusted. They must have already crossed the control line, except for Nathan Peters. And Robbie Bradbury going for some victory burnouts. I think we get a nicer shot of him. I'll even jump on for the rear suspension. There we go. Nice little spool up there for a celebratory burnout for Robbie Bradbury. And well done, and what a race for Bradbury. Then we'll bring up the results now. And after 23 laps at Silverstone, Robbie Bradbury takes the checkered flag, securing the win for round 4. And also on the podium in position 2 we have Sam Tucker, and then in P3 is Blake Urquhart. And the rest of the standings we have is Damien Cross, Russell Gander, Philip Buckland, Daniel Gomes, Lucas Burt, Stephen Banks, Corey Brandt, Michael Quain, Gary Buckland, Nathan Peters and Bruce Robinson. So we'll jump over and see who's in here ready for the podium chat. We have Sam, Blake and Robbie in here. And congratulations guys, a good drive there.
Okay. Yeah, on race.
Yeah, so some nice little battles going on between yourself and Bradbury there for a while, Sam.
Yeah, that was pretty tight. I could not get within 1 second of him. So, yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah, no, it was good. Just you sort of get him on a few sectors and then he'd start to pull away, and I just thought that Porsche might have had enough just to be able to reel him in that little bit more, but he must have been pushing that Ferrari pretty well hard, so.
Yeah, it was like a rubber band.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was nice bit of cat and mouse watching that go for a majority of the race, so well done.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
And congrats, Blake. Got on the podium. A little bit disappointing after seeing you head off into the pits and And then seeing that race lead get taken after 15 laps of being pretty much about, what, 5-6 seconds ahead?
Yeah, disappointed. The car just got loose and just went straight into the fence. But, you know, that's racing. It is what it is. I was slowly catching back up, and then I literally done the same thing again, and the car was just loose. It is what it is, and
Yeah, did catch that second spin. I wasn't sure what happened to you for the first time where that gap went, so...
Yeah, it was like the same, but it was on the track and it just literally turned me around. So
Yeah.
literally the car just got loose, where that one was really my fault. But yeah, no, it is what it is. Come back next week and try come back strong, and yeah, good race to the boys from the podium, and yeah, try again next week.
Yeah, no, and it's probably enough to be able to get you still in the championship lead, so you end up taking the fastest lap of the race. It's an extra 10 points there, and being on the podium and being only 2 points away from Vcock, who wasn't here tonight, so it's probably going to be enough to be able to get you up towards that top end. But with Bradbury taking that win tonight, it's probably going to be very close between you two, and the decider will be next week.
Yeah, hopefully come back strong next week. I don't even know what next week is, so hopefully get some practice for it.
Yeah, definitely might be an idea to do, so get in there and secure that championship win.
Yep, I'll try my best.
That's it. Well, congratulations again, guys, and good drive. And then
Cheers, JT.
We'll catch you next week.
Yeah, well done, Blake. Cheers, JT.
You too, mate.
No worries. Now we have Sam Tucker and Blake Urquhart, with taking second for Sam and third for Urquhart. I'm missing Bradbury in the chat, but he managed to take the win for round 4. And then we'll jump over and check out what we're having for the final round. So it's Circuit of the Americas GP, so it's going to be some fantastic racing to finish off the GT3 Championship. So do hit that follow button or hit the subscribe button, depending on whether you're on Twitch or YouTube as you see this. So hopefully it doesn't take me too long to get this uploaded, so you should hopefully be watching this before the end of the week, so it's only going to be a couple of days delay. It was unfortunate we couldn't be able to be streaming this live tonight, but it should most likely be all up and running, ready to be able to live stream to the final round. So don't forget to hit that button to be able to be notified when we do go live. So we'll be there 7:30 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time on Monday night for iRacing on the final round of the GT3 Championship, and then also on Thursday night we'll be there and hopefully live for that with the round 4 of the GT3 Challenge on Project Cars 2. So thanks for watching, and hope to see you trackside next time.